Good morning, Year 11. So welcome to Friday's final video of your Easter booklet. So for this one, I'm just going to go through one question on each of these topics, and then you guys can plow on through the questions. So I have actually got 3 examples for the first one completed. So I'm just going to talk through these ones. So to rearrange 2a plus 3 equals y, and to rearrange that to get a on its own. You do this in the same way that you would rearrange or solve an equation. So looking at the side that contains the letter you want on its own, remove any number that's been added or subtracted on that side. So the first thing you want to do is to take off that 3 from here. So you're going to have whatever is on this side minus the 3. So essentially you're getting rid of it from the left hand side there, and it is minus on this side also. You then want to divide by the number in front of the letter we want on its own. So divide both sides by 2. That gets you 1a on its own. And then the right hand side is going to be your y minus 3 all over 2. So I'm going to talk you through the rest of these ones. So for number 2, 6x minus b equals c. You want to get x on its own. So start by removing this letter here that's on its own that we don't want on this side. It's a minus b, so you're going to add b. You can literally cross that out and add it on that side and rewrite it if that helps. 6x equals c plus b. You then divide by whatever number is in front of the letter you want on its own. 6x means you're now going to divide by 6. That removes that 6 there, and you have the right hand side all over 6. Let's look at this example. We want to get x on its own. So you're going to start by taking off this a from both sides. So you remove it here and you take it off of the right hand side. Writing it out neatly, you have x over 2 equals c take away a. Now you want to get rid of this divide by 2. So you're actually going to times by 2. You can use a bracket to do that. So 2 lots of bracket, c minus a. Or you can multiply both of these terms by 2. 2c minus 2a gets you the same answer. Okay, so have a go at these 4 here. We're not actually going to mark these today. You're going to bring these in next week and we'll mark these ones in class. So have a go at these. We'll mark in class next week. Now we have practiced the mean, the median and the mode. So I'm going to let you guys have a go at that one on your own. And we'll mark that next week. Okay, so value for money. If it's in the calculator paper, the easiest thing to do is to do the cost in pennies divided by the amount. So if you've got a calculator, always do the pennies, so the cost in pennies, or the cost in pence, divided by the amount that you have. That's the easiest thing to do with a calculator. If you don't have a calculator, the numbers should be quite nice. And I would advise you to find the same quantity of each. So for example, this one here, I would use a calculator. The numbers aren't particularly nice. In a non-calculator paper, this might be 300 and this might be 200. So you could reduce them both to 100 by dividing this by 3, and if the other one's 200, you divide it by 2. But when the numbers aren't nice, it's probably going to be in the calculator paper. So we're going to divide our pennies, so 270 divided by 300. So just get your pennies and divide it by the amount. Now that's going to get us 0.9. Do it on your own calculator so you can see it better yourselves. Do the same with the next one. So our intention is to do 290 pennies divided by 350. And that's going to get us 0.829. Now that tells you how much it costs for 1 milliliter, essentially. And you can compare the cost. Which one is cheaper? The one that is less is the cheaper one. So this one here is better value for money. I'm not sure I've actually introduced this to you, so I quickly will do if you haven't worked out what we're doing. Value for money. We're working out which one is best value for money comparing two products. So have a go at the rest of them. When your units are different, you're going to need to convert them to the same. So convert this to grams. Your 1 kilogram, you can convert to grams. Or if you wanted to, you could have converted that to kilograms by dividing by 1,000. So make sure you're comparing the same units for both. For this one, you're comparing bag A and bag B. Which one's better value for money? For this one, you get 10% extra free. So you need to multiply your 1.2 kilograms by a single multiplier of 1.1 because you get an extra 10%. For this one, you have a 10% reduction. So you want to reduce this £5 by 10%. So you're going to times that by 0.9 to reduce it by 10%. Remember in the work you did on percentages. Once you found your new quantity and your new price for both of them, you're then going to divide the cost in pennies, so 400 divided by the new amount. And for this one, your new cost divided by your 1.6. So have a go at those. Sequences, I'm going to go through question 1 and question 6, and then you can do the rest. So you want the nth term. Remember, the first thing you want to do is to work out, well, what is happening to go to your next number. This sequence is taking away 2 each time. So start with that. It's going to be minus 2n. And then the number in front you're adding to get to 31. So this here is what's happening, going up or down. Then you want the n, and then what number comes in front of the sequence. And then that is called the nth term of the sequence. Is 38 in this sequence? You have 2 options. Here's your sequence. You could in the exam just work out what the rule is. So it's adding 5 each time. And you could spend your time in the exam going up until you get to this number here. However, imagine that said 1,000 and something. You'd be there for a long time in the exam finding that. So you could do that, but option 2 is a bit better. So we know it's going up, adding 5 each time. So it's something to do with your 5 times tables, so 5n. Taking your sequence back 1 step gets you to minus 3. So this sequence is called 5n minus 3. If you now equal that to the number we're checking if it's in the sequence, we want to know, is there a value of n that will leave you with an answer of 38? Solve it like you'd solve a normal equation. So add 3 to both sides, and that gets you 41. And you can clearly see now, when you divide 41 by 5, it doesn't end in a 5 or 0. You're not going to get a whole number. So n is going to be 41 divided by 5 equals 8.2. Now do make sure in the exam you actually answer that, because it's going to say, is it in the sequence? No. And then we should know this off by heart. No, because n is not an integer. We're looking for n being a whole number to show that that would be in the sequence. So have a go at those. We'll mark those next week. So a bit of work on transformations. Now, in order to do a rotation, you're going to find it hard if you don't have any tracing paper at home, but you could use some like grease-proof paper if you've got that at home. So look at your little cookery cupboard or drawer and see if you've got any grease-proof paper for like cooking. You can cut a little bit of that off to do your rotations with. That should work fine. So I'm going to go through one example with you. Describe fully the transformation that maps A onto B. So first we'll find A onto B. So it's this one going to this one. So this one is actually getting bigger. So because it's getting bigger, we need to first of all state whether it's a reflection, rotation, translation, or an enlargement. It's getting bigger. So the first thing you've got to state is what's happening. This is called an enlargement. Now for an enlargement, you need the scale factor. So how many times bigger has each length become? So you can either take the base or the height of the triangle and measure that. 1, 2, 3 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the scale factor is 2. Now you need the centre of enlargement. To do this, you need to get your ruler, line up the same points on both shapes. So the same point here, and you're going to use your ruler to draw something called a ray line from the big shape. Always go from big shape to small shape, even if the enlargement is B to A. Always go big shape to big shape. So we're going to join up these 2 points here. There we go. So they both pass through the same coordinate. This is called the centre of enlargement. So we're going to write centre of enlargement and then write that as a coordinate. It's 6 along your x-axis and then to -7. And there you go, that will get you full marks. So when you're describing these ones, this one, it hasn't got bigger, it's not reflected, it's not rotated. So this one, you're looking for a translation. So you want to find the vector for that one. So you need to write translation and then you need to write the vector. This one is a rotation, so you must write rotation. You need to write whether it's gone clockwise or anti-clockwise, how many degrees, and also the centre of rotation. This is where you're going to need tracing paper or get your grease-proof paper to work out where the point of rotation is. Or do everything apart from the centre of rotation, and I can get you some tracing paper at school to do that. You need to draw the line of y equals x. That line is this diagonal one that runs along here. And then you're going to reflect A in that line. Remember to count in diagonal squares. So this point here, you're going to count 1, 2 and a half. There's your half, 1, 2. So count in diagonal squares and repeat the same distance away. Okay, so have a go at those 2 pages as well at home. Okay, a little bit on exchange rates now. So if the exchange rate is written in pounds to foreign currency, when you're converting from pounds to your foreign currency, you multiply by your exchange rate. When you're going back into your home currency, you're going to divide by the exchange rate. I think you should be fine with these. Have a go at those questions. And a bit more here on value for money. So remember, do pence divided by the amount. So how much in pennies divided by how much you buy. So 315 divided by 9, 136 divided by 4, and that tells you how much you get for every one item. Okay, have a go at those, bring those in next week and we'll mark those, and I will set you a few more extra questions on MathsWatch. Have a good day, guys. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.